Welcome to the fourth and final episode of the Diversity Toolkit. This last episode of the Toolkit looks at how the whole organisation can be adjusted to build and support diversity. Here, my colleague and friend Maxine Finch will talk about how to make the place more diversity friendly and more diversity ready.
Hello, I'm Maxine. Our starting point is to understand that increasing diversity is about much more than recruitment and selection. It's about creating a diversity-ready and diversity-friendly organisation. This means altering what we value and how we do things, altering organisational behaviours as well as the culture, and therefore shifting what it feels like to work there. The first step is to look at what we do, how we do it, and then who does it. What we do in terms of teaching and learning is a curriculum. That's a subject for another toolkit. What we do in terms of staff means our approach to human resources and line management, and that's our focus here. Getting the whole organisation diversity ready is the first challenge. And then, with a bit of nudge on recruitment and selection, we can appoint and retain a greater diversity of all staff at all levels. So being diversity ready is a lot more than where to place the job adverts. Considering discrimination at the organisation level is timely, as 2020 is the 21st anniversary of the inquiry into Stephen Lawrence's murder, which introduced the terms institutional racism and institutional discrimination. This means a diversity-ready organisation is about more than the biases of individuals and how they behave. It's how the organisation's culture acts as a powerful determinant on the behaviour of the people working there. Managers' behaviours have to be aligned to the organisation's values. So the task is how best to achieve this alignment. And how staff are managed is the most powerful influence in how they experience the culture of the organisation. Hence, the importance of line management, because it can encourage or discourage diversity-friendly behaviours. The question is, how do we make the culture diversity-friendly? If leadership provides the poetry for diversity, management provides the prose. This episode is about the prose. Once the leadership is in place, we can look at the component parts of the organisation which oil the wheels of what we do and how we do it. To achieve a culture shift, all the components play a part. The values and ways of working, the management style, the processes by which we do what we do, for example, how we roll out a policy. The policies which provide the ethical and legal framework, they express how the manager's duty of care works. The procedures which dictate how decisions are made, then processed. And the structure, the line management flowchart. All of these are relevant to making diversity work. None are completely diversity neutral. And put together, they make up how the place does its work, how it functions. To make the culture diversity friendly, all these components need to shift a bit. The question is how and how much. We can take the example of working styles. Imagine we want to strengthen collaborative working across the organisation. Collaborative working is conducive to diversity because it is more inclusive. It is based on consulting, involving and engaging a wider spectrum to inform decision-making, and from that, to build a creative consensus. It makes the place more diversity-friendly and more diversity-ready. With collaborative working, if handled well, a diversity of professional views and life experiences inform decision-making. This serves to make decisions more relevant and more likely to match the needs of diverse users. Research has also shown that collaborative management generates more creative decision-making. Enhancing collaborative working means making changes to the leadership narrative. For example, by defining clearly what it is and what it isn't, and giving it importance. Enhancing a collaborative style of working might also mean making rigid departmental barriers more porous. For example, changing who holds the budget and the nature of the targets of KPIs can be used to encourage cross-departmental working. It may also mean altering job descriptions, person specifications, and ways of assessing candidates applying for jobs to give the skills of collaborative working more emphasis. And finally, it may mean rethinking how we evaluate and support performance by placing, for example, more emphasis on process, how things are, as much as what we do, and what the result is, the outcomes or outputs. It may also mean altering the way we design and process our meetings. Put all this together, these changes could create the necessary shift in culture and a shift to more collaborative behaviours. A positive outcome would certainly make the place more diversity friendly. This holistic approach avoids token or marginal changes and avoids a revolving door of diversity where as soon as a wider variety of people are recruited, they leave because the culture remains essentially monochrome and unintentionally unwelcoming, a place where we just don't feel we belong and where we don't feel we have any voice or worth. An organisation-wide approach means being diversity ready and diversity friendly. It gives that all-important sense of belonging. That brings us to the end of this episode and to the conclusion of the toolkit. Thank you.
Thank you, Maxine. Throughout these episodes and on the training program as well, we've shared a lot of best practice ideas. For change to happen, we believe we need senior managers to really care, to be determined, and to have the courage and empathy, and then the skill to use the organization's levers to realize change. With that, it can happen. If any of those components is missing, the outcome is jeopardized. If you would like support on any of the ideas that we've mentioned, or any help to move forward on diversity and equality, please do get in touch.